Here is my attempt at making the best bicycle trailer. The idea was to make something that had the same cargo volume capacity as an expensive cargo tricycle, but it had half the weight and load carrying capacity. And I did actually achieve that with this. I felt that a quarter of a ton was more than I needed and unmanageable on the hills around here, so I went for an eighth of a ton, and in fact this will actually take 150 kilograms without much difficulty. And the weight is around about half that. It's about, I think it's around about 40 kilograms in its current state like this, but considerably less when I take all the floor and the top off it, which is the configuration I use it in mostly at the moment. So it's all constructed of scrap aluminium, some of it the main frame, like this piece for example, which came from some aluminium platform that was used to paint the island's pier, and it got damaged in a storm and was sent for scrap. It's also got some greenhouse parts on it as well. The whole thing is pop riveted together using brackets like this, or hand cut with a hacksaw, and filed or using hand tools drilled by hand. And it's literally got hundreds of rivets in it. It's got brakes. It's actually two types of brake. The disc brake is operated from a third lever on the handlebars. I prefer it that way. It's actually more fun anyway, to have full control over the brakes. This is the coupling for the trailer brakes, and the idea is that in this condition the cables ends are locked off, so if you pull on the lever it doesn't move, and it means also loose ends. So to connect it, you connect together this jigsaw puzzle piece in the middle here that's made out of stainless steel, and at the same time you unlock the centre so it can slide, preload the brake, and locked in place, and that's now in its coupled condition. And that there is the cable splitter, and to undo it, pull that, slide that back, lock the centre into its position and uncouple. Quick look at the brake cable routing. Goes from the quick coupler and in there to protect it from the tyre in case it rubs. Sometimes it does rub across there under the side of the tow bar, and then it goes along here. This is all covered in heat shrink, multiple layers of it in some cases, to protect it, and it goes up through the frame there, runs along in there, and then it runs along the inside there and comes out to the caliper there. So it's inside the frame as much as possible to protect it. The first brakes that I fitted to this trailer were rim brakes off an old mountain bike, and they actually worked alright, apart from in wet weather of course. So that's why I went on to fit the disc brakes. But it's now used as a parking brake, so the lever locks on and clicks off. Fitting the disc brake caliper was a little bit of a challenge, and I had to cut a slot into the frame there for the disc. Here's a view of the caliper on the inside of the frame, and we've also got there a little indent to stop the axle from falling out. The wheels are easily removable with a typical quick release and drop out arrangement. A piece of oak to protect the aluminium frame. Useful place for storing things like ratchet straps and other small items. The tow bar is held in place with 3 removable pins, 2 of which go in here, and the third goes in under there, and that is held in there with a ring. The tow bar has 3 configurations. This is the one for a typical bicycle with the hitch underneath the saddle, straight in line with the trailer. This is useful for something like a recumbent tricycle maybe, or even a lawn tractor. I've never actually used this configuration yet. Then there's the camping configuration, where it acts as a support to keep the trailer bed level. This is the lightest and most used configuration, just a basic fishing net. It's usable really for anything that doesn't fall through the net, and even then you can put a sheet on top of it for something like gravel and just pull the sheet out and the gravel falls through. the solid floor open top configuration, complete with an openable tailgate as well, and plenty of space. If you're interested in the size, it's 2'8" or 80 centimeters wide by 1.5 meters or 5 foot long. Here's the underside of the solid floor. The idea behind it was to get the weight down below that of a sheet of ply that would have had the same structural strength. I'm using a sheet of 6mm on top of the solid wood supports. If a cover is needed, there's this metal frame for a fabric cover. It comes in 2 different heights, so it can be split here. So that gives a height in the cargo space of either 2 foot or 2'10", so that's 60 or 87 centimeters. For cargo that needs to be protected from the weather, there's this cover, and also for camping. It's in that configuration at the moment with a tow bar down, and it's also got these legs to stop the back end of the trailer dropping down as you get into it. And it's got a zipped opening here, and inside is plenty of waterproof space. The tailgate stays semi-open like that with the straps, so that it is possible to get just enough length to lie in, and I had a piece of fabric that fills in this gap as well. It's not the best solution, but it does just about work. You can actually sleep in it, and I have done before. I think I've said everything about the trailer. I'm going to put up some photographs now of some of the things that I've moved around over the years. You can watch that if you're interested, and thank you for watching.